Okay, so remember yesterday we learned that what's inside the absolute value, not 8 plus y, but whatever's inside the absolute value could be positive or negative, right? That's what we learned. So it could be a positive 10, it could be a negative 10. So 8 plus y is going to stay the same. Since there's nothing on the outside, underneath it, there's nothing attached to it, we can just leave it as 8 plus y. But when there's like variables and numbers on the other side, what we're going to do is we're going to leave the first one. So we're going to take it and we're just going to write it how it is. Or, and remember you guys, what's inside the absolute value never changes. You never take the opposite. You always take the opposite of the answer. And what you do is when you have a variable and another number, you're going to take the opposite of 2y, which is negative 2y, and then you take the opposite of negative 3, which is positive 3y. Now we're going to solve both of those. I like to move the variable first. I always move my variable to the other side first. Then that way it becomes a two-step equation. So I'm going to move my 2y. Are we good so far? Are there any questions? So these cancel out. And I am going to, you guys, I'm actually going to write it where my variable is first. So what is y minus 2y? So I'm going to write negative y, and then that 8 is positive, so I'm going to write plus 8, and it's going to equal negative 3. So again, you guys, you can write it as 8 minus y. I prefer to write the variable first. That is why I rearranged it. Now I'm going to finish solving this. I'm going to subtract 8 from both sides. And now I have negative y equals negative 3 minus 8. Now, can you leave your variable as a negative number? So I'm going to divide each side by negative 1. And y equals positive 11. Now, before we move to the other one, let's make sure 11 works. What is 8 plus 11? 19. What is the absolute value of 19?
19.
Okay, so this side equals positive 19. What is 2 times 11?
22.
And 22 minus 3?
19.
So the absolute value of 19 is 19 equals 19. So we know for sure that's the solution. You guys, what I'm trying to get you to do is every time you get an answer, you need to go back to the original problem and make sure it works. Bless you. Okay? Now, let's solve the next one. I'm going to do the same thing I did over here. I'm going to move the 2y. Except, go ahead.
I'm confused. Like, how do you like know that which one's that like when you go or know how you did that and then or?
Uh-huh.
Like, how do you know where to put that stuff?
This always is gonna stay the same.
Yeah.
And then you take the opposite of anything that's on this side. So it was positive, that's why I made it negative. This was negative, so I made it positive. You only change the absolute value should be by itself. You leave the absolute value alone, what's inside, but you change what it equals to. Did that answer your question? Okay. Now, you guys, I'm going to move the 2y just like I did over here, except that it's negative now, so I'm going to do the opposite, which is add 2y. Now, what is y plus y? What is y plus 2y? Okay. Plus 8. You guys, that was positive, that's why it's plus 8, and it equals positive 3. Now, what am I going to do? Yep, I'm going to subtract 8 from both sides. Three minus 8 is, and then what's my final step? Divide by 3. Now, you have to check your answers. You have to, okay? You're not going to want to, but you're going to need to. So I'm just going to show you a real quick check. Because this is a fraction, I would just want to do it really quick. I just want to write it out for you guys so you see. Okay, so now what I would do is I would use my calculator. 8 plus -5 divided by 3. Because I'm checking, I don't have to write it as a decimal. I don't have to do anything. So I just wanted to show you what I did. So I did 8 plus -5 divided by 3. I just wrote it as that's a fraction bar means division. And I get 6.3333 repeating. Okay, so what is the absolute value of 6.333333? Yeah, so we're just going to write it like this. Now, I'm just checking. You would never write your answer like this for me. Okay, I'm just checking. Now I'm going to do 2 times -5 divided by 3. Notice this fraction means division, so -5 divided by 3 and minus 3. You can do this in your calculator, okay? I'm just checking it. This side equals -6.3 repeating. Is that a true statement? Does positive 6.3 repeating equal negative?
Yes.
Does a positive equal a negative?
What was its absolute value?
I already took the absolute value. This is no absolute value on this side. So is that a true statement? No. So that means that this answer is actually called an extraneous solution. It means it looks like one, but it is not one. This is why you have to check both answers. If you do not check both answers, you guys, on a multiple choice test, I will give you one choice will be 11, one choice will be -5/3, one choice will be 11 and -5/3, and then there might be no solution. So you have to make sure you check your answer. So again, the only solution to this problem is 11. The other answer is an extraneous solution. What questions do you have? Yes, sir.
So for the test, the answer will just be 11?
Yes.
Okay, so like you won't have to put extraneous solution.
No. And it might be, I might ask you, is there extraneous, if I might ask on a question or a quiz or a test, is there an extraneous solution? What is it? So it might be like, what's the answer? What's the extraneous solution? Okay. So are we good? Are there any other questions? So again, you guys, this is our final, this is the only solution to this problem.